Well, she asked for it. Now she's going to get it as a birthday gift. Jesse Palmer, host of the Bachelorette. Ethan,
She
is
asked
Jesse
for
here?
it.
Technically, you asked for him.
Yeah, it's
Well,
true.
that is true. I mean, if we're being technical about it,
Yeah.
yes.
You may
Tanya,
have a little bit of a bromance man crush.
I kind of do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this Jesse Palmer. First of all, he was on The Bachelor, right?
Yeah.
And then he comes in, cut to now, he's hosting the whole franchise. I have had a chance to get to know him over the course of the years, and he joins us now. Jesse, good morning. How are you, pal?
I'm doing great. How are you guys?
Are you in paradise right now? It looks like you're in Bachelor Paradise.
I am in a paradise. It's not actual paradise. I'm
Okay.
actually in Spain right now. It's beautiful here.
Cool.
But
Wow.
yes, I'm working on my sunburn as we
Yeah,
speak.
well, good. All right. Well, thank you for interrupting that work to come on with us. I just want to say to start, you are doing a phenomenal job hosting the franchise. I watched the Bachelorette the other night, the opening night, where you walked out to set up the whole season. And honestly, because I get into the nuance of the hosts and the style and the delivery.
Yeah, like, what do they do with their hands?
Yeah, and your use of your hands and your body language and your comfort and your turn to the jib, it was really outstanding.
I appreciate it. Talking and walking at the same time and using your hands is way more difficult than people out there actually know, especially for a former football player. So I'll take it. The fact that I can even read anything at this point is great.
I would have fumbled. If I were one of the guys getting out of that car, I would have fumbled and failed just walking up to the two Bachelorettes. There's so much pressure, to say the right thing when you're on it. So what do you make of the two Bachelorettes this season? After you heard the news, after you've seen it all play out, what's your take?
History in the making, really, I think was the first thing when we announced it back on after the final rose on Clayton's season of The Bachelor. That was the first thing I think I thought about was, wow, we've never done this before. We've never had two Bachelorettes go the entire course of the season. And how is this going to work? The show is formulaic to an extent, I think, each and every year, whether it's The Bachelor or The Bachelorette. I think a lot of that and a lot of this season with Rachel and Gabby is really going to be new. They've already sort of shown in that first episode last Monday that they're not afraid to go off course. They're not afraid to break from the formula that we're accustomed to. They canceled the very first rose ceremony, which has never happened. And I think as people watch tonight on the second episode, right off the bat, right from the get-go, they're going to see Rachel and Gabby do that again. I think that's going to be a big theme throughout the course of this season. It's two incredible women, two journeys, but two completely different people going on separate journeys to find love. And I think as that continues to develop and their dependence on each other, their friendship, and their ability to have very honest and frank conversations with one another, that's really going to help them get through all this, is I think something people are going to see more of tonight as the season continues.
Jesse Palmer, host of the Bachelorette, on with us right now. Will we see two Bachelors?
Maybe one day. I always wonder sort of the decision makers that be, how they go about trying to make it feel new and make it feel fresh. The franchise has been on the air for 20 years. It's been a long, long time. I know I'm dating myself as soon as I say that because I was one of the first ones to do it. But, I think they're always trying to find new ways to kind of make it feel new and fresh. And I guess as the season goes on, I'd be really curious to know kind of what Bachelor Nation and people at home are thinking as they keep watching it, and what our executives think as well. I think there's definitely a chance we could see two Bachelors down the road.
We got a chance to meet them. I've talked to them a couple times, Rachel and Gabby, and there are some articles I was reading beforehand. Hey, they're competing with each other, but I get no sense there's a competition between these two.
Not at all. That's not what this is really about. This is really about two friends that really went through a lot on Clayton's season. People will remember watching that and the night in Reykjavik at the Opera House, the quote unquote rose ceremony from hell and sort of the double breakup. That was very tumultuous, heartbreaking for the two of them. But I just seeing the way that they sort of supported each other through that, I think was a big reason why a lot of people thought it was great and it could work if both Rachel and Gabby could go on this journey together. I think right now in the season, obviously it's very early. I think they're still sort of trying to figure it out. And I think a lot of the guys on the season right now are also trying to do the same thing. Everyone's trying to get to know each other. But as this season goes on, I think people are really going to see the friendship develop and evolve. and some of the real frank and honest conversations they have to have with one another to try and navigate through this, to find love. The two of them. This is not a competition by any stretch, but really a story of two great friends supporting each other in their journeys.
I gotta tell you, Sissany, Tanya, if I were a guy, I'd want to be Jesse. I mean, I'd want to be Jesse Palmer. You know what I mean? Like, I'm thinking
I was gonna
about.
say you are a guy.
I am a guy, but you know what I'm saying. Like, I have. I'm gonna put you on my fridge as motivation because I've got David Beckham up there. He's been up there a long time. I'm gonna put you up there as well.
That's a good one.
Yeah, he's good. I mean, and looks great on the fridge.
Beckham's great. He's got better tattoos than me, better hair. Which is not hard. Doesn't sunburn like me. Wears clothes that fit. He's not in mediums all the time. I mean, you're setting a high bar. You put me low on the fridge.
I need aspirational goals, you know? Hey, listen, congratulations are in order. You and your wife were finally able to have your wedding after the pandemic.
We got married again, Ryan. Thank you. Thanks for bringing that up. That's kind of why we're out here. Last week we were in Provence, and we sort of we had our dream wedding. We had the wedding we were supposed to have 2 years ago before all this craziness started. And it was so special and great, having my family and having her family come all the way from Brazil and to be there with us. It was the perfect day and way more emotional than I was anticipating it being.
That's
right.
very
I may or
cool.
may not have cried a lot. It was great. It was just really, it was really a magical
Well, it's
day.
probably
It
a
was
little bit
awesome.
less stressful because you're already technically married. So like those like jitters, I guess, were gone because you're just celebrating.
Yeah, which is so funny. I mean, to your point, I sort of went into this thinking, okay, I've done this already. We eloped, and it was great. The eloping to the woman of my dreams was amazing.
I'm an advocate of the elopement.
Yeah, but he still had the wedding celebration. See, with all the people.
It was like really a symbolic wedding, which was kind of like what I was thinking. And I'm like, okay, so we'll just go through the motions. We'll do it. The ceremony will take 9 minutes, maybe 8 minutes, 50 seconds. My brother's the officiant. This thing's going to be done and over. And let's go eat and drink rosé like now. And we got up there, and I saw Emily walking through the garden, and then my brother's standing there beside me, and he's talking about our relationship, and then my mom and dad are in the front row, and they're crying. And I'm thinking, like, dude, football players aren't supposed to be crying right now. Like, what's going on? Like, all hell just broke loose, and I just broke down. It was so beautiful. It was just so magical. That's the best way I can describe it. And maybe because I just wasn't anticipating all of that is why I guess I got flooded and overshadowed with the emotion in the moment. It was really great. It was nice.
Very happy you guys are spending some time together. Sorry to interrupt your holiday, but really,
Ryan.
I mean, his honeymoon,
really
technically.
I know he's on his honeymoon, and I'm like, can we get
There's
Jesse
a
Palmer to
sunburn
call?
to be had.
Get out there and enjoy. All right, man. Thanks for coming on and continued success.
You got it, guys. Thanks so much for
Bye.
having me on.
See you,
all
pal.
the best.
You too.
See ya.
Jesse Palmer, Bachelorette tonight, 8/7 Central, ABC.